Hello everyone, welcome to Programming Java Lesson 2. Today we are going to write our first Java program. Before we start to write our Java program, first of all we have to check whether the basic requirements are met to write the Java program. So we will start the discussion based on lesson 1. So as you may remember, we have concluded our lessons indicating requirements to follow this course. So you should have a computer with a suitable operating system. So it can be Linux or Windows. And also we need the JDK, which stands for Java Development Kit. And we want the version which is above 1.2, preferred to have 1.6. And also we should have an editor to write the Java program. So that's the requirements we need to write our first Java program in the lesson 2. So first of all, we will have an overview about how this program works and how the compiler works. Then we will write our first Java program. Now, if we take the Java program, we will be using the notepad to write our Java program. So this is going to be notepad or any editor. We will be using a notepad or editor to write our Java program. So this Java program we call as source file. We call as source file. And what we are going to do in an operating system, so it can be a Linux base or Windows or any operating system, we are going to run JDK. We are going to have the JDK, and using the JDK we are going to compile the Java program into class files. This class files is called as bytecodes. So JDK, Java Development Kit, will be verifying the syntax of the Java source file, and it will be generating the class file. So this class file, it's platform independent. It means this code file can be taken to any operating system and we can execute as Java programs. So that's one of the powerful features of the Java, which is called platform independency. So we need JDK to develop the Java program. In a situation where we are not going to do the development, we are going to only run the Java program, then we don't need to have the JDK, then we should have only the JRE. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. So Java Runtime Environment, it's used to run the class file. So if you are not doing the development, if you are only running the Java program, then the JRE is enough. But in our case, we need the JDK. So now what we are going to do in our course today is, we are going to use the Linux operating system, which is Ubuntu. And in the Ubuntu, we are going to use the gedit, the editor, to write the Java program. And also we have already installed the JDK in this operating system, but if you wanted to install the JDK in the Ubuntu, you can go to Ubuntu Software Center and by specifying the JDK here, and you will be able to download and install the JDK which is needed for this particular course. So let me take you through to write the Java program. So this is we call each and every Java program we write, we specify with the keyword class. Java is a powerful object-oriented programming language. In Java, every object is represented via class. So our first program, the name of the program is first app. So now I am going to save this program to compiling purpose. So while I am saving the program, I am going to save it in the desktop, and I am going to specify a name to the source file. So here the important aspect is your source file name and your class name should be same. So I am going to specify here first app. But Java programs always will be having the extension called .java. So I'm going to save my program called firstapp.java, and I'm going to save in the location desktop. Now you can see the editor is already changed the color of this class because that is a keyword. So my program starts here with the open curly braces and it's closed in the line 5. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the terminal. In the terminal I'm going to navigate to the desktop since my file is located in the desktop. Now I'm going to issue a list command in Linux to check the file which is located in the desktop, and now you can see the first app.java is located in the desktop. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to compile this program using Java-C. Java-C stands for Java compiler, and I'm going to pass the name of the program which is firstapp.java. So Java compiler, to the Java compiler I'm passing my source file for compiling purpose. So now you can see the program is compiled. Now if you issue the ls command again, you can see there is a new file is created called firstapp.class. So we have compiled the firstapp.java, and we have created the firstapp.class file. Firstapp.java is called source code. Firstapp.class is called bytecode. So now we have generated the bytecode. Now shall we do some exercise, experiments before going further? Now I'm going to write some, let me say I'm going to delete these curly braces. I have only one opening curly braces. And I'm going to save the program, and I'm going to compile the program again. So now you can see when there is a syntax error, okay, there is a opening curly braces but there is no closing curly braces. So when there is a syntax error, now you can see our Java compiler is giving an error message. So you can see it's one error. So now in that situation where the class file will be not generated, so what we are going to do here is we are going to fix the error, and we are going to compile again. Now you can see there is no errors and the file is compiled to the bytecode. Now even though we have a compiled version and the bytecode is generated, still we can't run this program because we haven't write any instructions. So what is program means? What is computation? I mean, program we use for the computation purpose. So computation means, okay, we are going to give set of inputs and we are going to write a specific logic based on that input, and we are going to generate some set of output or some sort of operations based on the input we have passed to the system. So we haven't write any set of logic in this program yet. So we can't run this program. So but we done this exercise to verify whether all the components are working fine, whether we have the JDK is working fine, so whether we can compile the program to check that we have done this exercise. So now I'm going to write a few more lines in my program. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some more code. So I'm going to say public static void main now the line 2 to 5, this part of the code is called as main method in Java. Now any program, in any programming language, even if you take C or C++ or Java or C#, any programming language, we have a main method. The main method is the place where the execution will begin. When we run the program, we might have hundreds of lines of code, but we have to tell the interpreter where the program should start to begin. So main method is the place where the program will start the execution. So you should have a main method specified in your program. So this is the syntax in Java to write the main method. So it's public, simple P, static, void, main, and the name of the method is main, and of course it takes a parameter which is string, an arrays of string, and the name of the array is args. And later in this course we will be discussing the meaning for public, meaning for static and void. For the time being, this is the syntax for the main method of the Java program. So now I'm going to save this program, the modification, and I'm going to compile the program again. And again it's compiled without any error message. Now again, like I have done the exercise previously, if I change this to capital P, and if I try to run the program, you can see it's giving an error message. So you can understand from that exercise how the compiler works. So the compiler is very specific. It expects the keyword in the right case and also in the right order. So let me reverse back to the correct way. So that's our main method, and now we can compile the program again, and now there is no errors. But still, if I run the program, it will be not producing anything because we haven't written any instruction to the program. So I'm going to write my first instruction to the program. Okay, so this instruction which I specified in the line 3, the instruction is to print this test message in the command line. So that is the instruction we are giving to the program. So let me compile the program again. So the program is compiled without errors. Now I'm going to run the program. So to run the program, we specify Java, okay, without C. You can see the difference. So this is for the compiling purpose we use Java C, but here we are going to say Java, and we are going to say again the name of the class, first tab, without any extension. When you specify, you can see it's printing the output in the terminal. So let me do a quick revision on this. So this is our first program, and the name of the first program is first tab. The program starts here and the program ends here. So if we want, we can, to easiness, we can comment this out. So I'm specifying by 2// a one line comment saying, okay, this is the class end. So like this, I can say this is the main end. So this is our class which is ended here, and this is the main method which is started here and which is ended here. And also one instruction we are asking this program to do, to print welcome to Java lesson 2 in the terminal, and when we run the program, you can see it's been printed. Now we will do some modification to get more understanding. So let me, now I'm going to write one more line called system.out.println, and I'm going to say introduction to Java. So now I'm going to compile the program again, and I'm going to run the program again, and now you can see it's printing 2 lines of code as output. So this message, this statement, it will be printing the text what is specified in double quotation here. So, and later we will be discussing in detail. It's called system is a class in Java. It's a predefined class, and out is a field, and also the println is it's a method which is available to print the text in the command line. So we'll be discussing in detail. And also you can notice one thing: each statements in Java which will be get terminated with semicolon, Now I'm going to modify this program to get some more understanding in Java. So I'm going to specify, and you can see in the main method there is a arrays of string which is being passed to the main method as a parameter. So I'm going to use that parameter. To display some values. So I'm going to copy and paste this line again, and I'm going to remove this statement. I'm going to specify arg0. Now we have 3 lines here, 3 lines of statement. The first line of statement is specifying arg0. The args is the name of the variable which is declared here, and this is an array. We will be discussing array in detail, and here it's referring to the first element in the array. In the array, the elements will be start with the 0 index. So it's referring to the first element of the array. So let me save this program and let me compile this program. Now the program is compiled, and I'm going to run the program. So while I run the program, I'm going to say Java first tab, and also what I'm going to specify here is after the name of the program, I'm going to pass a value. Okay. I'm going to pass a value with the program. This value is called command line arguments. So whatever value I pass after the name of the program, that the first value will be stored in arg0 and it will be get printed. Let me run this program. Now you can see it's printing Learn TV, Welcome to Java Lesson 2, and also Introduction to Java. So there's a spelling mistake which I will correct that. And you can see it's printing like this. Now let me run this program again with the different parameter. Sri Lanka. Now when I specify Sri Lanka, you can see there is a space between Sri and Lanka. In that situation, only the Sri will be get printed in our program output. Now you can see it's printing as Sri and Welcome to Java Lesson and Introduction to Java. So why only Sri is get printed is because the array which available here will be keeping the elements which is separated by the space. So Sri will be in arg0 and the Lanka will be in args1. Since we haven't used the args1, it's printing only Sri. So now to get more understanding, what we can do is we can say, and I'm going to run this program again with the Sri Lanka parameter. Now we are printing arg0 as well as args1. And now you can see our output is printing Sri, printing Lanka, and Welcome to Java Lesson as well as Introduction to Java. So this is the args will be keeping the command line arguments. So these are the command line arguments we have specified, and we can manipulate the command line arguments in our program. So that's our first command line program which we have written in the Linux operating system. Now I'm going to take you through to the Windows operating system to write the our first Java program. So you will be able to get better understanding that Java is a platform independent programming language where you can write in Linux as well as you can write in Windows. So now I'm going to take you to the Windows environment. Okay, so now we are going to look at how we are going to write the Java program in Windows. So like I mentioned to you, you should have the JDK to install in the Java program, to write the Java program. So this is JDK version 6, which is for the Windows, and we have already installed the Java JDK in this computer. So after installation, you can see, you can go to the C drive, and if you go to the programming files, and if you go to the Java folder, and you can see the JDK 1.6 is installed. So now we are going to write our first Java program. So I'm going to open the notepad, and we are going to write our Java program. I'm going to write my main method, which is public static void main, and of course string args. And we are going to write our first instruction, system.out.println, and we are going to say welcome to Java. Okay, so we'll say lesson 2, and we will take one command line parameter, and we'll say arg0. So that's our first Java program, and I'm going to save this in the desktop, and the name of the program is going to be the same name of the class program. So it's going to be firstapp.java, and now it's saved in the desktop. Now we are going to, now you can see this is the file. Now we are going to go to the command prompt, and we are going to go to the desktop, and when we issue the command dir, you can see our file which will be available in the desktop, which is called firstapp.java. You can see here firstapp.java. So now when we issue the command javac and firstapp.java, you can see in Windows you will be getting an error when you try to run this. And the error is javac, it's not recognized as an internal or external command. The reason is, even though we do have JDK installed in the machine, the Windows operating system will be by default, it will be not identify the JDK where it's installed. We have to tell to the command prompt where is the JDK is installed. So for that we have to give a command path is equal to path, and we have to specify the program files java jdk bin. So we have to specify the Java compiler, it's located in this path, program files java jdk bin. Now we can go to that location and we can look at the compiler file. So now we can go to the program files and java and jdk, and inside the bin stands for the binary, and inside the bin you can see there is a file called javac.exe file, that is the compiler. So we have to tell to the command prompt where is the compiler is located, where is the compiler is located. To specify that path, we specify path is equal to c program files java jdk bin. After specifying this, when we try to compile the Java program, now earlier it was giving javac is not recognized as an internal or external command. But after specifying the path, when we try to run the program, when we try to compile the program, now you can see the program will get compiled. And since there is no errors in the source code file, it's compiled. And if you go to the desktop, you can see there is an additional file is created in the desktop, which is called firstapp.class. So now I'm going to run the program in the compile. I'm going to run the compile program. So it's going to be java firstapp. And since I'm expecting a parameter here, now you can see I'm expecting a parameter, command line argument parameter. While I am running the program, I'm going to specify a parameter. Now you can see it's printing learn TV, welcome to Java lesson. So this learn TV, what we have specified in the command line, it's printed as the first argument. So if we change that to a different name, different string, and it will be printing that different string here. So from today's exercise you can identify that we can write the same piece of Java code in Linux operating system or Windows operating system or Mac operating system or any other operating system, and we will be just writing the same piece of code and we can compile and run the Java program. So Java is actually, it does have the capacity of running in multiple platforms. So today in the lesson we have seen how to write our first Java program, and we have compiled and run our first Java program in the Linux environment. At the same time we have compiled and run the Java program in the Windows environment. At the same time, I want you to remember one thing, that when you register to this course, we will be sending a CD. In that CD, we will be including the JDK and the installer which is needed to write this program. At the same time, the Java, it's a freeware, so you can go to the internet and you can download the JDK for the operating system, whatever you are using, and you can install the JDK and you will be able to write and compile your Java programs, and you can run your Java programs. Then in the next lessons we will be writing more Java programs, and we will be doing more exercises. Thank you.